Yeah, no, that's good. Now, tell me, let's touch a little bit about your process. Like
Mhm.
every branding agency has their own ways of doing things, their own process, right? Could
Mhm.
you sum up your process and like what does a lead go through, and then where do they convert as a customer, and all the steps that they go through and the value?
Yeah, I mean, so usually people, I have some really good SEO. So like not on my newest website because it's pretty new, but my
Mhm.
photography website, I have a lot of SEO. So I get a lot of contact forms through there. Another way I capture leads is through Instagram. I give a lot of value on Instagram.
Interesting.
And yeah, I mean, I never got wedding clients from Instagram, but brand photography clients, absolutely.
Mm,
So that's been really fun to kind of put value out there and have people be like, thank you for all these tips. I'd like to know more about your services.
right.
And then I also have lead magnets. So like, like helpful value driven things like here's a brand is your brand cohesive quiz or how to use your brand photos to grow your audience. So people will sign up for an email flow that'll take them through and often give them an offer at the end. So when someone like reaches out and says, "Hey, I want help," we'll often have just like a nice like coffee chat virtually, and just talk about like what do you need, what can you afford, what does this look like, and then I'll often say like, well, here's how we can help. And then if they're like, that sounds great, we'll start working with them and we always start by digging into the brand, right?
Mm.
And a lot of people that come to us, they don't have a brand. They think their brand is their logo or their color scheme or their fonts. And they'll be like, here's my brand. And I'll be like, cool. Um,
No branding guidelines, right?
Yes, yes, and most of them have like a ideal client avatar, which is great, right? Like I'm
Mhm.
always like, that's a great thing to establish because we need to know that. And then we'll often say, okay, well, we need to actually like you have visuals, but do they match your messaging or do we need to pull the
Mhm.
messaging from the visuals? So then we'll sit down
Right.
with them and be like, here's a bunch of questions that, you need to answer for us. And then we'll start to build the brand on there. And we tend to build a brand more since we work with more like purpose driven service brands,
Right.
we do a little bit more of like, not like, here's the hero of the story, but rather your client's the hero, you become the guide. And that's, you talk about your client's problems and how you transform them versus like saying, like, my product's the best, come buy this. It's more like, you have a problem, my product or my service is going to take you from your problem to the solution. So I love working with people on that level. Everything we do, we drive value into it. So we talk about
Mm.
like, how can you give your clients value? And then we also need to talk about your services, right? If you just give people value and never try and sell, right? Or never say, like, did you know I do
100%.
this? Yeah. And then
100%.
the last thing we do is we really try to infuse personality. I feel like so many people are so afraid to show like who they are or who their team is, who's behind the product or the service. And
Yeah.
especially during COVID, people want to connect with people. So you got to be like a little open to showing yourself, your team, what you all like to do outside of business. Because when
Right.
your ideal clients share that, they'll be like, oh my gosh, you love camping. I love camping. We should probably work together. Or like, wow, I'm going to definitely follow you more because you love roller skating. I love roller skating. Silly examples, but you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Totally, totally. And I think that's powerful too, being the problem solver. Here's the
Yes.
issue, here's the solution, right?
Hmm.
I see so many people talk so much about this is why we're awesome. This is why we're the hottest product or brand on the market and stuff like that. And people don't it's like LinkedIn, honestly. Like it's like I'm the founder and CEO of this company. And people are like, I don't care. Like, get over yourself. Like, why are
Hmm.
you here? How can you help me? Right. So I think there's a lot of value in just what you just said in regards to the process, but specifically being a problem solver too.
Oh yeah, and like not being an aggressive problem solver, right? Like speaking of LinkedIn, I get DMs. Well, I don't know if they're called DMs on LinkedIn. As you can tell,
They
LinkedIn
are
is my
direct
number one.
messages. Yeah, 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 yeah. I totally get it.
Not my number one platform. I'm more of an Instagram person, but I'll get messages all the time. They're like, "Hey, do you want to increase your sales by blah 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 percent?
Oh my gosh.
I can help you." And it's like, yes, you're pointing out a problem and you're pointing out a solution, but it's kind of like going on a date, right? Like, you don't just
Right.
like ask someone to marry you. You have to like
Right.
like, hey,
Well,
he,
first, I never asked to go on a date, so let's start there,
yeah, right.
right?
I'm like, hold on.
Wait, I never said I was dating. What's going on here?
Exactly. It's so like it's approaching things as more as like to like a long-term goal versus just like
Mm,
I need to make money, I'm just going to slap things out there. It's more like let's
right.
build a loyal following that has trust and it will come if you nurture it.
And that's